Ta-da! Catch up!
Excuse me?
Yummy.
Hi, hello, thank you for having me. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
You're giving life to Shriek for the first time on the big screen, and it feels like doing this can be both exciting and scary because you're presenting to a massive audience for the very first time this character. So how did you start building her?
I started building her in the same way that I do with all my characters. So I look at the script for clues as to who the person is, you know, in terms of like their childhood, their personality characteristics, and then I create a kind of map of who they are based on that. And that's the jumping off point, because then there are all these gaps in like, okay, what happened to her as a child? You know, what does she have aspirations for the future? And so what I do is I imagine that I'm in a situation exactly like this, so that I'm being interviewed, and then I answer interview questions like, yeah, so I have a mum and a dad, and my mum did this and my dad did that. And as I'm talking, I find that I'm like calling in the character and creating them basically. And I discover like their little quirks, their voice, and all of those kind of things. So that's how I find all of my characters. And it's really, whenever I describe it to anyone, everyone's like, wow, that's really unique, because most people don't do it like that. But that seems to work for me.
Amazing. And now that you mention, in the comic books, she has a very dark past. How much of that are we going to see on this movie?
You're not going to see much of that in the movie, because you know it's really, you know, it's Venom's story, right? So it's the continuation of the origin story of Venom. So it's not really Shriek's story, but who knows in the future whether that will be explored.
A spin-off, maybe. That would be nice. Can you share with me one of your favorite moments that you had on set?
My favorite moments I had on set, oh my gosh, there are so many. I love Andy Serkis. He is just one of the best human beings on the planet, hands down. And I love Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson and I worked together at the very start of my career on my first ever Hollywood movie. And so this is the second time I got to work with him. And he is exactly the same. He's just so much fun. He just brings so much playfulness to everything he does. So every day for me was memorable, because he would just always have me in hysterics the whole way through. And I just loved it, because he really put like this whole business into perspective, because he said, you know, yeah, we've got to work hard, we've got to deliver, but let's have fun at the same time, you know. So he always made it fun.
Chill you out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And for my last question, in your opinion, what separates a good villain from an extraordinary one?
I think a good villain is a baddie, right? You know, that we can all agree to dislike, but a really great villain is someone that actually we secretly have compassion for and connect to. And though even when they're doing all these really, really bad things, there's some part of us that champions them and thinks that they're amazing.
Well, looking forward to see the film. Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Chaos soon come. Is the loneliest number that you ever